Today, we're taking a literal high-speed plunge through the atmosphere, and we're mapping out the entire sky along the way.
Layer 1. High clouds, the icy heights.
Right now, we are cruising between 20,000 and 43,000 feet. It is so ridiculously cold up here that these clouds aren't even made of water droplets. They are almost entirely pure, tiny ice crystals.
First up, at this dizzying altitude, we have cirrus clouds. These thin, delicate, wispy formations. They look almost like elegant feathers, or brush strokes, sweeping right across the very highest part of the blue sky.
Next is the cirrostratus. This is a completely transparent, high-level layer that can basically blanket the entire sky. If you ever look up and spot a glowing halo around the sun or the moon, well, you're actually looking directly through a massive veil of cirrostratus ice crystals.
Rounding out our high-altitude trio, we've got cirrocumulus. These are made up of lots of tiny, small white cloudlets. They cluster together to create this amazing, rippled, textured pattern. Meteorologists actually call this a mackerel sky, because it genuinely looks like the scales of a fish.
Layer 2. Middle clouds, the gray zone.
Altitude sitting right between 6,500 feet and 23,000 feet. When you start spotting clouds in this specific middle layer, it's usually your very first visual warning that widespread weather changes are approaching.
Remember those tiny rippled cirrocumulus cloudlets way up high? Well, meet their mid-level cousin, altocumulus. Because these rounded patches and rolls are significantly lower in the atmosphere, they appear much larger to us down on the ground.
Next, in the middle layer, is altostratus. This forms a broad, gray, or even bluish layer across the sky. If you try to look at the sun through an altostratus deck, it just looks like a dim, blurry disk. When this layer thickens up, it's a highly reliable sign that widespread precipitation is actively on its way.
Layer 3. Low clouds, the drizzle layer.
We've just punched through the 6,500-foot mark. Everything from here down to the surface is the domain of low-level clouds, hovering right above our cities, hills, and mountains.
First up in this bottom layer is the stratus cloud. This is that uniform, flat, gray layer that stretches completely across the sky. It essentially looks like a thick fog that is just lifted a few hundred feet off the ground. And, you guessed it, it's famous for bringing light, dreary drizzle.
Next, we hit stratocumulus. These are low, lumpy, broad sheets or structured rows. But here's the thing. Despite looking heavy and textured, they actually produce very little precipitation. Maybe just a light drizzle, but really nothing major.
Then we have the nimbostratus. These are incredibly dark, widespread clouds. When you're stuck under these, you are in for long-lasting, continuous rain or snow.
Vertical giants, the storm makers. We start with cumulus. These are the familiar puffy, cotton-like clouds with flat bases you probably drew as a kid. They usually mean fair weather. And when they do grow, they turn into a massive monster, the cumulonimbus. This enormous storm cloud starts way down in the low layer we just visited and explosively stretches all the way back up to the freezing, icy heights where our journey began. The cumulonimbus packs a serious punch. It is the sole producer of thunderstorms. It brings heavy, sudden rain, it brings lightning, hail, and incredibly strong, violent winds. Understanding these specific cloud heights completely transforms how we view the world above us. It's no longer just some random ceiling of white and gray, right? So the next time you step outside and look up, which layer of the sky will you be reading?